What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to scrape Twitter followers automatically by creating a simple workflow in N8N. Let's get started. To scrape Twitter followers, I'm going to use this tool called Apify. Apify is an incredible tool that you can use to scrape any website and automate projects. Get 30% off your first subscription to this tool. Just use the link in the description to sign up and create your account. Then after creating your account, head over to Apify store. Then here, we're going to search for the website that would like to scrape. In that case, we'd like to scrape Twitter followers. So I'll search for Twitter followers and click on search right here. Here you can see we have over 400 tools that we can use to scrape followers from Twitter. Here, I'm going to use this tool to scrape the followers from Twitter. So I'll open this tool on a new tab right here. And this is the tool that we're going to use to scrape followers from Twitter. So all we have to do is add the username, the user that would like to scrape their followers. Then here we can add the maximum number of followers that we would like to scrape and the maximum number of following that we would like to scrape. So now to scrape Elon Musk's followers, I'll click on start right here. Here you can see that our tool is running and getting our data. Let's give it a second. Here you can see that our tool succeeded in scraping for 400 followers and following right here. Right here. So if we wanted to scrape only followers, here we're going to turn these off, and now I'll run our tool again to scrape the followers. So here you can see we succeeded in scraping 200 followers from Elon Musk's page. So if we wanted to scrape his followings, so we're going to turn this to off and turn the get followings to on. And now to scrape the following, I'll click on save and start to scrape the followings, his following. You can see our actor is running and getting our data. Let's give it a second. Here, now you can see the accounts that he follows right here. And we got a total of 200 accounts right here. Instead of having to manually scrape the followings or the followers right here in Apify, we can create a workflow that scrapes the followers or the followings for us automatically. To do that, here I'll search for Apify and click on Apify right here. Here you'll need to install it first. Then after installing it, click on Run and After Node right here. Here you'll need to create your credential to connect your Apify account to N8N by clicking on Connect My Account right here. And then on the new window that pops up, choose the account that you'd like to connect to N8N, and your connection will be created. I'm going to close this node right here. I would like to run an actor. Here I'm going to choose the recently used actor here. Choose this tool right here. And then here we're going to add our JSON here. To get our JSON, I'll go back to our tool and we say manual in JSON. I'll click on JSON right here. And then here I'll copy this JSON. Then I'll paste the JSON right here. We'd like to scrape Elon Musk's followers and following. So to do that, I'll click on execute step right here. You can see it's executing our node. Let's give it a second. You can see our node was executed successfully. Click on schema, you can see the status was a success, and we got our default dataset ID right here. So now to get the followers, I'll search for Apify again, and click on Apify. And here I'll click on the get dataset items node. And here I'll map the default dataset ID over here and click on execute step to get our followers. Here we can increase the limit to 500. So I'll click on execute step again. So here you can see that one node was executed successfully and we got 400 items right here. So these include the following and the followers. So now if we wanted to scrape only the followers and not the followings, here I'll change it to false and click on execute step right here to scrape now the followers only. You can see our node was executed successfully. Now to get the followers, I'll click on execute step right here. You can see we're getting a total of 200 items right here. So these are only the followers. Which are these followers right here? As you can see them, total of 200. So if now we wanted to get the following, the followings here, I'll change this to false, and I'll change this to true. And then I'll click on execute step here to get now the followings. You can see our node was executed successfully. Now to get the following here, I'll click on execute step to get our following. And you can see now we got a total of 200 accounts that Elon Musk follows right here. Now, when I open this node over here we are manually adding the username that would like to scrape either their following or their followers over here. So we can automate this part. To automate it, we're going to add the username to a spreadsheet. In Google Sheets, I've created a spreadsheet that I've renamed to scrape followers spreadsheet. In this spreadsheet, I've created a sheet that I've renamed to username. Here are there two accounts that would like to scrape their followers. To get these usernames, now workflow, here I'll unlink this node, then I'll search for Google Sheets right here. Then here I'll click on get rows in sheet node and then choose our document, which is this document right here. You can start by scraping only Elon's followers. And then here I'm going to find our sheet, which is this sheet right here. Then I'll click on execute step. You can see we got Elon Musk's username right here. So now I'll connect it to our node and auto align this node. Here I'll rename this to get username and click on rename. And click on rename. Now when I open our node right here, instead of having to manually add our username right here, we're going to map it over here. So we like to only scrape their followers. So here it's going to be false. The followers is going to be true. So you can swap the two depending on what you like to scrape. So if you wanted to scrape their following, make this true and this false. And if you wanted to scrape their followers, make this true and this false. But if you wanted to scrape both, make the both of them to be true. So we like to scrape only the followers right here. So to do that, I'll click on execute step right here. You can see it's executing our node over here. One node was executed successfully. The status was a success, and we got our default dataset ID right here. So now to get the followers in our get dataset items node, I'll click on execute step right here. And you can see we got over 200 followers that follow Elon Musk. So here I'll rename this node to Twitter follower scraper. And here I'll rename this to get followers. And I'll click on rename right here. So now we can proceed and add our followers to our spreadsheet. So in our spreadsheet, I've also created another sheet that I've renamed to scrape followers. Here's what we're going to add our followers. So we're going to add the name, screen name, description, followers count, following count, and if they're verified or not. To add our followers to our spreadsheet, here I'll search for Google Sheets and click on Google Sheets right here. Then I'll click on append row in sheet node. Here we're going to find our document, which is this document right here, and our sheet, which is a scrape followers sheet. And here we're going to map values to our columns in our spreadsheet with the data that we scraped using Apify. So for the name, we're going to add the name right here. We're going to map the screen name, description, followers count, their following count, or their friends count, and if they're verified or not. So now to add our followers, I'll click on execute step right here. You can see our node was executed successfully, and we've successfully added our followers to our spreadsheet using this node right here. So I'll rename this node to Twitter followers and click on rename right here. So now when I open our spreadsheet, you can see the followers that we scraped using our workflow right here. So we added a total of 200 followers right here. Over here. So here's the name, screen name. Some of them have the descriptions available, as you can see over here. Here's the followers count, following count, and if the accounts are verified or not right here. So we scraped these followers and added the followers to a spreadsheet right here using this workflow that we created right here in N8N. Our workflow works perfectly. So we can try and scrape my followers from my page. So to do that, here I'll clear these this sheet, delete all these rows over here. And then in our username sheet, instead of Elon Musk, I'm going to add my username right here. And then now to scrape my followers and add my followers to our sheet over here. Now workflow, I'll click on execute workflow over here. You can see that our workflow was executed successfully. So here we got our username right here. Then we use this tool in Apify to scrape our followers. We got our followers right here, a total of 180 followers. Then we added our followers to a spreadsheet over here. So here you can see the name, screen name, description, followers count, following count, and if the accounts are verified or not. So these are a total of 180 followers, 180 accounts that follow on my page here. So we scraped these followers from my account and added the followers to our spreadsheet over here using this workflow that we created over here in N8N. Remember, you can also scrape followings using our workflow and add the following over here. So the only thing that you have to do is come and make changes to our JSON over here. So if you like to get only the followers, make this true and the following false. And if you wanted to get the following, make this true and this false. If you wanted to get both the following and followers, change both of them to be true over here. And then this node will scrape the followers or the followings for you. Then you're going to get the followers or the followings over here and add them to our spreadsheet over here. As you can see over here, in our spreadsheet over here, using this workflow that we created over here in N8N. If you'd like me to create this workflow for you or a workflow similar to this one, just click the link in the description to schedule a call with me. On the call, we'll discuss into details the workflow that you'd like me to create for you, and then I'll proceed to create the workflow for you. But if you enjoyed this video and you have a workflow in mind or an AI agent that you'd like me to create using N8N, just comment it down below in the comment section. I read all the comments, and if I land on your comment and I find it intriguing, I'll come back on a future video showing you how to create the entire workflow or AI agent from scratch using N8N. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.